In the vast tapestry of history, there are threads of enigma that, no matter how much time passes, continue to beguile and mystify us. This is a tale that merges the realms of fact and legend, a narrative that has become a symbol of secrecy, intrigue, and the human fascination with the unknown. Let's delve into the depths of history, piecing together the puzzle of the man behind the Iron Mask. Rumours of an enigmatic prisoner started circulating around France in the 1680s. Although there were few details, the story was powerful. Louis, the King of France, had given the explicit command to lock up an unidentified individual. There was an iron mask covering his face, making it impossible to tell who he was. The prisoner was sent to the fortress of Sainte Marguerite, a small Mediterranean island off the coast of Cannes in southern France, and was placed under the guardianship of Beguile de Saint-Mars, former musketeer, according to a 1687 gazette. The prisoner and the guard had previously resided in the Alps Pinerol and Exil's strongholds. When Saint-Mars was named administrator of the Parisian jail known as the Bastille, the couple relocated once again in 1698. The arrangements for the enigmatic prisoner remained unchanged from previous reports. In his memoirs, a Bastille official described how he was taken aback when his new supervisor showed up, escorted by a guy whose name is never pronounced and who is always masked. It was noted that a man in his 50s was buried in Paris' St. Paul Cemetery, and that his clothing and possessions were set ablaze at first light after his death in the Bastille in 1703. Even the walls of his cell were allegedly scraped and painted white. Louis was the monarch of France while the enigmatic prisoner lived. Le Roi Soleil, or the Sun King, as his admirers referred to him, was Louis during whose rule France strengthened and expanded its borders. His opponents saw him as a near-tyrant who had converted France into a police state due to his absolutist beliefs, that is, the notion that he reigned as God's emissary on earth. The narrative of the unidentified prisoner took on a life of its own after his death, with rumours circulating that his punishment was directly related to the French crown. The masked man legends were more than simply macabre tales from the beginning. It directly contributed to anti-Louis propaganda. In an effort to prevent French expansion into their republic during the 9 Years' War, 1688 to 1697, the Dutch used the rumour to cast doubt on Louis' authority. Dutch spies disseminated rumours that the disguised prisoner was the king's biological father and a past lover of the queen's family's mother, rendering Louis an illegitimate child. There were doubts regarding the man's identification among a few of the large royal families in France. There were rumours that he was the Sun King's son, Louis de Bourbon, Count of Vermandois, and his mistress, Louise de la Vallière. Louis de Bourbon was exiled from the court for his homosexuality. Following his attempts to win back his father's favour in battles in Flanders, de Bourbon became unwell and most likely passed away. Conspiracy theories contend that he had actually survived and was under his father's covert captivity. Francois de Bourbon, Duke of Beaufort, was another contender for the role of the masked man. Francois, a close relative of the monarch, was a prominent figure in the Fronde group, which plotted to overthrow the king at the beginning of his rule, thus strengthening his inclination towards absolutism. Despite Francois' eventual death in combat, rumours circulated of his improbable abduction and incarceration by the monarch. The number of conceivable identities continued to rise by the 18th century. Some said that the guy wearing the iron mask was the king's half-brother and the bastard son of Louis's mother, Anne of Austria. Some hawkers conjectured that Louis was punishing his wife Marie-Therese, one of Austria's lovers, especially with the mask. The idea that the guy was Nebo, a pygmy page who is said to have impregnated Louis's queen, is especially amazing. As our quest to unravel the mystery of the man in the iron mask comes to an end, we're left with more questions than answers. History, it seems, is a labyrinth of secrets and enigmas waiting to be explored, and this captivating tale is no exception. Who do you believe the man in the iron mask was? And what do you think his story represents in the broader context of history? To let us know in the comment section below. Until our next historical adventure, farewell, and may your thirst for knowledge never fade.